Today, I am going to interview Isabelle Duchene. She is
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Isabelle. You are trance medium.
I am a trance medium, yes.
Yeah. But before I let you in, I would like to tell why I'm doing these interviews and what we have in common. Is that okay?
Wonderful. I'm delighted. Thank you for having me.
Yes. I had Elaine Thorpe, and she brought through her Jonathan, and he told me that I would be interviewing mediums and spreading their work across the world. And then for about 3 weeks ago, I had Elaine and she brought through Jonathan. Then he said like this that he had there were some mediums that I should interview, and that Elaine is not aware of them, but she would give me those names afterwards. And then one of those names was your name. So that's why I
Bless,
called you.
bless them. I know them very well. They do magnificent work. Bless them both.
Yes. For people who have never heard of you, where are you from and how do you work?
I'm Isabel. Nice to meet you, everybody. I am from Belgium. I live in Antwerp. I'm 48 years old, and I have been, since I was little, always been around with the power of the spirit world. And Belgium is a very little country with no spiritualism history. There is nothing here except the church, the Catholic Church, and Islam. But since when I was very young, people recognized that I was different. I was born too early, 6 months too early. So I was a very small child. And I was very, very tiny. And when I was 8 years old, my grandfather passed away. And then I was a tomboy, walking trees, being fun with kids. Yeah, growing up in the 70s, there was no internet. It was fun. You can walk outside and go places and meet people. Just a very good upbringing. My parents were school teachers, so I had to go to school and normal life. But there was nothing to do with mediumship at all. But I saw things that people didn't see. I saw loved ones. I heard voices. I felt things, but I thought if I see it, my two sisters see it as well. So I didn't, at 8 years old, you just take it as a normal thing. And it came down on me that when my grandfather passed away, everybody was sad. It was my father's father. And so why is everybody sad? He's sitting here and there is no death. So people started to find me the strange one. So very slowly I kept everything inside of me because I knew that that was not, people looked at me from, you're strange, what's going on? So I didn't take much in it. So I just kept going. And between my 8 and my 16 years old, I learned from the spirit world only from them because there were no books, there was nothing. And it's very a powerful thing. I've always tried to see it as a normal thing. It was to me as normal as talking and eating and watching television. Being aware of the spirit, it's not about trance or physical or healing or mental mediumship. It's much later, but just knowing things in advance, seeing stuff, see colors around people, feel pain of people, have dreams that come true. Very small little things starting and slowly developing into my teenage years. I wondered always what's going on. My grandfather had the gift of using the pendulum in the wartime when he helped a lot of people that way. So the spirit stuff has been in my family from father's side. Even though my both sisters don't have it, I I said, okay, I want to do something with it. But it was a little natural to me. So with my high school, together with my high school, I did it in between. And it was as natural as reading and eating until my 18th birthday. Between my 18th and my 21st birthday, it was gone for 3 years. Completely nothing. From one day to the other, when I'm gone, everything was gone. Clairvoyance was gone, hearing was gone, everything was gone. And I was in a panic. I said, oh my God, what's going on? And later it came back after 3 years and said, why did you take it away? And the spirit said, because you should learn how it is to not have it. So it's the best to experience yourself, how you could learn if you don't have it, how it is because you've been born with the gift, how it's not to be. So you learn from both sides. So it was a great learning experience. It was not the easiest time because my spirit friends were my family, and it's like I felt like being naked in the desert. So
maybe it's easier to understand people who don't see them then.
Yes, that was the reason behind it.
Yeah.
Not to judge. And I understand now because I'm a just normal person, and I studied animation movies and alternative medicine and healing, and I went to several courses in Holland and in France. And then I studied on the Art of Findlay College in England later on. But the most things I learned from the spirit itself, and it's magnificent. It's amazing to try to bring it over all the knowledge to the persons around you, because in Belgium there is no spiritless church, there is no circles, there is nothing at all. And my mother always asked me, why are you meditating every day? Because that was my meeting with the spirit world. It's just like, mother, I have a meeting to go. Where are you going? She said, no, I'm in my room. But she heard me talking to somebody, but she didn't see anything. So it's just like, okay, it's a very basic training. It's very important. And that's why when I was 21, I said to myself, I want to be there for humanity, for those who don't know what it is, and to bring proof of the higher life and to help people. And Spirit said, you're going to be full medium in every aspect of the form in time, and you're going to be a pioneer in your country. And in 1992, I met Gordon Higginson, is a very, very well-known medium and back teacher and the president of the SNU in Stansted at that time, and a very, very amazing man. And he said the same thing to me, so you're going to be a pioneer for your country. And I didn't understand what he meant, because I said, oh my God, because there is nothing to do with mediumship. He said, yeah, there is one, because you are doing it. So when I discovered the school in 1988, I was only 16 years old. So I went to England with the boat. And back then was a lot of money because there was nothing. And there was a big revelation from, oh my God, it's like Harry Potter school to me, what people would say now. But it was just like, oh, I'm not that weird. I'm just a normal person. A lot of people who do the same thing. And from that on, Spirit put me in a highway in development. But I try not to hurry things, because you can't hurry things. You have to work for it. You have to sit for it. So I'm now 48 years old, so I have been sitting for 32 years now. So it's a very slow process, and it keeps going. We never stop learning.
No, but you have been working in different countries, haven't you?
Yes, I've worked all over the globe so far, with bringing people together, doing readings, private settings, and helping people, workshops to understand that spirit is there. And recently, the last 5-6 years, I been able to slowly develop the gift of spirit photography, and doing trance, and spirit now on this moment is working on physical mediumship. I'm not saying I'm a physical mediumship now, but it's a development. It's go on. I'm still learning, so it's an amazing journey. And of course, we have to travel, and we have to sit, and we have to work for it. It's not something you get in one night. A lot of people, unfortunately, think you can become a medium in one weekend course, and that's not the case. You need to be disciplined and to know where you're coming from, and to know your basics. That's very important, and that's why home circle and sitting in home circle is the most important thing. Because in Belgium there is no spiritless church. In England, mediumship and becoming a medium and talking to the spirit people has become a religion. And it's all legalized by law because it's under this umbrella of religion. It's legal, but normally it's not a religion, it's a way of life. They made it a religion to make it possible, but in fact it's a way of life. It's not about religion, because religion is dogmas and rules, and the amount of working with spirits. It's amazing. It's facts. It's reality. It's nothing to do with rules and something to believe in. It's quantum physics.
Yeah.
We cannot die. Our body dies, but we only change form. If you heat up some water, you've got steam, and if you freeze water, you've got ice, and it remains water. It's the same thing. We change form, but we remain the same. Our loved ones cannot die. Our physical form dies, but the soul, which is pure God presence in the beautiful universal power, cannot die. And if people understand that, it's quantum physics, and that's the goal, to people aware that scientific background has to come together, and that scientists now investigate and have already given proof of the afterlife. It's beyond, it's beautiful, it's amazing, but we a lot of work to do still.
Yes. Very wise words. But you, I know you bring in Red Cloud. Is there any other ones you bring in, or is it only him?
There are a few persons who come along. I have a very old monk whose name is Peter, who comes along, and he lived a long time ago. I think it's talking from the Essenes. I think it's 2,000 years ago, at the same time as Jesus did. I think, I haven't checked it out. He's very open up, and it is a very powerful, beautiful guide, and he's an old wise man. But when I was young, I spoke with several spirits, the spirit world, your own family coming through, but as guides, there's something like deep spiritual guides, your guides who are coming from time to time to learn new things, and your spiritual team who is from the beginning of your since birth with you. And Red Cloud is a very powerful First Nation chief who lived on Earth till 1909, and he helped a lot of people. And I say guides are not your purpose. It is they choose you, and they help. Red Cloud helps a lot of people. It's not my property. It's not my guide. It's just like it is a group of wise men and women who lived before and come to assist humans on the planet Earth. It's just like, yeah, they're all friends. It's a lot beautiful. Like Jonathan, he comes to many people. Jonathan sometimes comes to see me as well. So it is unity. It's not ego stuff. That's the problem with mediumship. People want to steal each other's guides. That's ridiculous. Red Cloud is a very wise man, and he had himself as an incarnation of a First Nation. That was his last life on Earth. He said he had many other lives on Earth, but his last reincarnation was a Lakota chief, and he was from United States, and his tomb is in Pine Ridge in South Dakota in the United States. But he helps a lot of people. He's a very beautiful man, and very wise, and very funny. And
I listened to a video when you brought in him on the YouTube, and he says that mediums should work together. Do you understand? Against the same goal, if you can say, not like this is mine and that is mine, but together.
Yes, because there is only one power, that's unity. And I think we are all, I always say, I am only a broom where God is sweeping with. We are instruments that is being used by a power which is not us. It's the same thing if you look at religion. The person of Jesus of Nazareth worked under the power of the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is the same power that is spirit. We are spirit, and we come from spirit, and we go back to spirit. And people's who are not understanding mediumship, and you're still brought up into religion, and you have the same in Buddhism and Islam and in all the religions. They spoke about one power, which is love. And this is what we need to understand. We are all connected with one force, with this love. And if you read Bible and you read the Torah or the Bhagavad Gita for the Hindus, or I read all these books, and it's all big unity coming together, is walking the spirit. Because if you, I have a family member which is a priest, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I am working with the spirit of the universe." And they say, "Just like Jesus did." I say, "Yes, just like Jesus did." I'm not saying I am Jesus, no. By saying that it is a powerful power. Spirit is spirit. And if you open the Bible and you say a voice spoke in the dark, and apparitions of angels, and if people really read the scriptures, it's full of mediumship. And people don't know. One of the persons who often comes to help is Padre Pio, is an amazing monk who lived in Italy in 1968. He died physically, but he was a mystic. He was a physical medium, and he did a lot healing, and he had the stigmata. I can talk hours about him. He's an amazing man. But if people would understand his mission, he was a physical medium. He sat in his cabinet, was his confession chair. He sat in the dark behind the curtain, confession chair. If people know what it is a place where people do confessions for the faithful. He was a medium, but he was brought up in 1887. In those days, in the 19th century, there was nothing to do in Italy. He didn't know about mediumship, so everything was the divine, and what he didn't understand was the devil. You know, it's just like really very narrow-minded way of conception what's going on with God. But it's an amazing thing, and if you study your works, you learn. And that's what Red Cloud always say: people lack knowledge. There's a lot of very smart people who are not wise. A lot of smart people lack wisdom, and that's the problem. And people don't understand because they don't know the scriptures. They don't know the basics. Go back to the basics, learn from the greats, and become greater. You have to. This is one of the missions I like to help, is to how you become a medium. What is important to be there for each other? How you put up a circle? What is important? What is discipline? Why is that necessary?
Could I ask you, what do you think is the most important when you do a circle?
The first thing for a circle in a way is that people, it's harmony. Because when there is no love and no harmony and no respect, then you don't have a circle.
No.
Dedication, harmony, love, and respect are the 4 legs of a spiritual horse. That's what Russ Cloud always say to me. It is a beautiful thing. People need to understand that there is no me. There is no ego in a circle. A circle is round and everybody is equally important.
And maybe everyone has different qualities as well to bring.
Of course, everybody is different qualities, but it is developing. It depends all what do you do? What do you want to do? What kind of circle you want to develop? Mental mediumship, you want to develop healing, you want to develop trance, you want to develop physical. It all depends what is the circle about. But the basic is to get people with the same lineage, of the same background, who wanting to learn something. And discipline is needed. Otherwise, you can't do much on your own. You can go to a library and study and read the books, but you also need your own development with spirit, which is one-on-one. You need to sit, and that's the beginning. People don't make time for sitting.
No, that is true. Everyone wants to develop very quickly, and it doesn't work that way.
No, I learned it from the last 32 years that it goes very slowly. And if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, unfortunately, mediumship has become commercialized. And it's very important that it's not a game to get money. It is a way to help humanity and to bring comfort for those who grieve, to give messages from the loved ones, and also give proof of the higher life, proof of a life after death. I always said to people, how can our loved ones coming back when they've never been somewhere? How can they come back? To understand that you are a spirit yourself, having a human experience. You are a spirit. You are a spirit yourself, coming to earth, having lessons, and go back to the spirit world and move on, because it never stops. But in these last 25 years, the world has changed dramatically. And when I started studying in England and in other countries, it was very limited. And I was fortunate to have teachings from some good teachers who passed away now, but everybody now has it's been commercialized, want to be a medium in one weekend, and they just do one weekend and go on TV, or they give lectures themselves. And I don't want to judge, but I find the fruits to see the tree. And that's what you need to understand. It's like, get a few steps back and try not to focus on fame, but listen, know your guides. People are too quickly in wanting to achieve something. They have no patience. Spirit tell you when you're ready. And I said, after 22 years, I also put a few steps back, because I said, hang on a bit, I don't want to be pushy. And of course, another problem, what some people say, if you give messages, people want to hear what they like to hear. It's not what Spirit says. They are preoccupied what they want to hear. And I know Red Cloud is very firm with things. And sometimes he said things that people don't want to hear, because it is a little push in the right direction. And afterwards people say, aha, now I understand. But in the beginning, it's like a father giving a little tap on the shoulder of his child. Don't do that, do it this way. But it is just advice. Red Cloud is strict, disciplined, and he's very strong. And that strongness can come over very overwhelming. But behind that beauty of energy, it's pure love. It's surrendering. And if people don't surrender, they can better play badminton or something else.
One thing that Spirit doesn't do is feed the ego.
No, but
No.
you need the ego to be here on earth, and people, it's a part of your personality, and there's nothing wrong with giving the ego a little nudge of saying, okay, you did right. But it is about, yeah, ego is a very dangerous word. I mean, 55% of people don't know what ego is. The problem is that yeah, it's about fear of losing control. A lot of people want following rules. And of course, in the society in which we are now, we need rules. In the traffic, we need rules. We need rules, but it's important that we use these rules to better ourselves, not to punish ourselves. And there are some groups who are thinking on behalf of spirit and giving people rules in their spiritless churches, which has nothing to do with mediumship, but control, and they're as bad as the dogmas of a church. And just like spirit doesn't judge.
No.
And some people say that you have to do it this way. Feel your heart, meditate, ask the spirit, test the spirit, talk to the spirit. They are your power, and it's important. Discuss this with people. Be open, and if you not agree with things, tell them so. Because Red Cloud always say it's very important to have circles of discussion. It's very important to have talks, and storytellers in the great tradition of the First Nations. They were great storytellers, sitting grandfather to the kids, and storytellers, and its power giving knowledge, oral schools, giving from grandfather to child, from child to grandchild. It's very important that people sit together in a circle. I mean, around in the 19th century, beginning to 20th century, when Victorian mediumship was very strong, and beginning because it was a high need between the two world wars. We women, we sat in the dark near the stove when the fire was on, or gentlemen or husbands were gone, or in the pub drinking or fighting, or unfortunately they passed away. We sat together and we talked. We did some knitting, but there was nothing else. There was no internet, there was no radio, and we sat under the red glow of the fire. And this was a perfect condition of mediumship conditions, to sit in red light and starting coming in trance and doing physical mediumship. That's how people understood. In those days, there was much more connection and apparitions and a lot of more phenomena going on, because there was a high need. People wanted to know, and spirit knew that, and they interact with these people because people listened. And now that's the problem. People don't listen anymore because they don't sit in circles, they don't talk, they don't discuss. They just read a book and they say, okay, I want to become a medium, and I sit and I play some music, and it has to be that way. It doesn't work like that.
No, it's so true, everything you are saying. But from that, what do you do? Have you been able to work anything now and in the pandemic?
Oh, yes. During the pandemic, I kept working online. I did a lot of online sessions. I'm working on my book. It's very important that it's not been an easy few years, last 5 years. I see, not only with Corona, but last 5 years, planet Earth has been going through a massive change since 2016. It's not been easy, and but now with the Corona thing, people have to see themselves as an isolated form of who am I, what I'm doing on this planet. I think people had to go inside, people had to contemplate about themselves. They have to say the Corona is the crown chakra, is connected with God, connected with spirit. Become yourself. sit with your guides. Maybe you have to lock down and look inside yourself. And it was not a bad time. It was a difficult time, and understand all the stress and all the rules and all the fear, and my condolences for all the people who passed away. But it is just like Earth has needed this. Planet Earth needed this. It's just like we all need from time to time stand up and stand still. And I'm afraid we have to continue the coming few months this year, and maybe till next year summertime. Then it should completely the big balance will be there. We always have to take responsibility, and pandemics will always be there. It's always been there, and it will never stop. But we'll have to learn again how to tackle them and how to be strong again. And of course, I'm not going to talk about Corona, but it's just like stand in your power. If your frequency is high enough, there is no bug in your body that will kill you.
No.
Because if your frequency is high enough, of course you have to be careful. Of course you have to eat healthy and vitamins. I see it as a frequency. The doctors don't see energy. A lot of doctors do happen. Luckily now they're starting to understand energy, but we are an energy bomb. We are an atom bomb of energy. Physically, yes, but also energetically, and this is what people don't understand.
No. So I can say as a medium, it's difficult to go to a doctor, I think, because I don't think as they do.
No, it depends. There are some very good doctors, and very good. A lot of men and women are here and helping a lot of people. Yes, but it depends what you're looking for. People think illness is a period of transcription, some medicine, you have headache, you take a pill, and then it has to stop. Why you have this headache? What did the headache learn you? It's like, okay, do I have to change my diet? Do I have to change do I drink enough water? It's about your body is your temple. And it's very important. Sitting learns a lot about yourself, and luckily there are a lot of scientists who come to see mediums now. Do they want to know and study metaphysics, study quantum physics, study the energy work? And luckily there are very good tests, and it's good to be skeptic, but it's very stupid to wash everything on the same shore, you know. Doctors can learn. We have to collaborate as well. We have to collaborate also in science, because science, in fact, know nothing, very little, and they would understand if they studied Tesla and they studied all the great scientists from the 19th century who did work, D.D. Home and Einstein and all the great physics, that there is more to life than this, that they would open-minded to the new possibilities, that we human beings are not our physical body. But that's a whole other discussion. I can talk about it for years and years and years, but it is slowly sinking in. A lot of people are afraid to think out of the box. And it's about control. And I would say, although there are very good doctors, there are very good people who want to really heal people, unfortunately 75% of them are yet following a dogma of the pharmacist industry of greed in money. I
was thinking there are doctors who do know about like past lives and so, and I was thinking that because I know we have had some here in Sweden, and past lives that can even affect this life, and that's things that maybe people don't understand why some
It's
children
a very,
are.
it's a very, very powerful thing to talk about. Yes, but with reincarnation, it's also a way of knowing yourself and seeing a pattern of lives. I always say, know the now. If you know the now, you understand the past. You can't change the past. But it's good to go back, but don't live in the back. Don't live in the past, because a lot of people see reincarnation therapy as entertainment. And it can only it can help for various reasons, but it helps. It's very delicate that you don't go into the ego of famous persons. I was Cleopatra, or I was this, or I was that. It's not about who you were. It's about what you did and what this lessons did you learn. I know that Red Cloud told me once that most of the people had about 10,000 previous lives, and a lot I mean, how many in these few million years that mankind is on this planet. I know that when the dinosaurs were here a few million years ago, they were giants. They were completely planets are always been there. There has always been life on different planets, not only on planet Earth, but many things. So it's very, and now there is more knowledge on this one right now. But reincarnation therapy for a lot of people, again, with the collaboration of the church, who condemn it because they want to control things. So it's about minimalizing knowledge, and that's sad. And of course, what do you do with all this knowledge if you don't know how to tackle it? If you knew that this is fiction what I say now, but I'll give an example. If you knew that your father was a murderer in a past life, you don't give him credit in this life. So it is sometimes better not to know things, to give an open blank paper, a blank canvas to paint on.
But sometimes, if you perhaps have some kind of fear that is from past life, you can't
Yes,
fear.
but I understand that. But mediumship can be held, can be used for grief counseling. Past life regression can be held for hypnotherapism. It can be of a great help, but it's therapeutical. It's very precise. It's not a common thing, because on Netflix recently there was a very big program about the afterlife, and there was an episode about reincarnation, about psychiatrists and doctors and scientists who investigate children who remembered their past lives. And
you mean
it's very
surviving death?
Sorry?
You mean the surviving death? That Syria?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There are a few others. In the United States, there are several doctors who investigate, and I believe in Sweden and Norway as well. It's very important to understand that we are coming back, but yeah, it's for the parents not always easy. If your child, in this, I say it again, this is fiction, I'm going to say, if your child say, Mom, I've been in the Second World War pilot in the past life. Okay, nice, but what are you going to do it now? You know, you need to know what you do with it, and this is very, again, individual. You need to check things out, and then it's interesting. It's always interesting, but it's, in general, yes, all these energy work can be helped in nowadays therapies.
But why do you think some children remember past lives easier or more, or how can I say, than some other children?
It is how the upbringing is. some people don't know because they don't need to know. It's also, it has to do with the lessons on life they learn here on earth. The spirit world reveals only what is needed for you, not what you want. And if a child of 5 years old would be bombarded with information he or she can't handle, what's the point?
No.
So it maybe later they because I believe we all are a walking library. We are a walking museum, and every person who dies, there is a museum that burned down. Because that's why we have knowledge inside of a brain. We have knowledge. The spirit world will never ever let go of the knowledge what's inside of you. And if you do trance, and there is a big link with reincarnation and trance mediumship. I give an example. If you in a past life were Chinese, in your subconsciousness you have the knowledge of the Chinese language. So in trance they tap from that knowledge, and it's very possible that you speak Chinese very easily in a trance state because it is tapping from another consciousness. So nothing is lost.
No.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's all inside of you.
It's all connected. And yes, you have to investigate, you have to study. Again, knowing your stuff is so important. And that's why I like to help. And that's why, and I thank you for this interview too, that you are also doing the same with this series of interviews, to bring people to the knowledge that we are normal people. People give a name on our head, medium. I say, I am not a medium, I'm extra large. I mean, what is a name medium? A medium is something that can translate one energy to something else. It's a translator of energy. A telephone is a medium to transport vibration from point A to B. Internet is a medium, TV is a medium, radio is a medium. You know, it's just a describable thing about knowledge. And in the past, they had mediums. We had medicine men. We have in every culture. You had the wise women. We had witches. We had shamans. We had so many wise men and women and children who were burned, who were killed for their knowledge. And we coming back. We never stopped. Mediumship was not for the happy few. Mediumship is a birthright. And if people would sit and let go of all the dogmas and rules and regulations of religion, of fear, and they understand in the tapping of the knowledge of the big universe, there is one power, which is love, and this is what we're going to be in the future. Our planet Earth is going to a planet Earth of love. We are going to go from that painful state we are now in. We are all, our vibrations are going to get higher and higher. That we are on a big ascension with our planet Earth to a higher consciousness. And that's why people are suddenly aware about guides, suddenly aware about spirits of angels or whatever. It is, people are awakening, and that's beautiful. But a lot of people who are awakened now, they don't know how to deal with it. They see things and know things, they hear, and they start panicking, because if you don't know that it's there, and suddenly your grandfather stands in front of you and you thought he was dead, you have a problem. Because you don't know how to deal with it, and people get so in panic that they ring their doctor and say, I see dead people. And the doctor doesn't understand and gives you a pill to put your emotions out. And this is what people need to understand. A lot of people who have the gift in the past, not having been given the right help, they end up psychiatrists.
I
And
can
I say,
I had several years ago, I had very difficulty with it because I could not handle it. And I felt like it was very difficult to find someone to help. There were nobody there around, so I felt it was very hard.
It is very hard, but slowly, luckily, things are it's changing. I think 5, 6 years ago, you would not imagine, Ingrid, that you're doing these interviews.
No, no, no.
It's very important that try not to judge. People don't know any better.
No.
It's
But
it's a
everything
it's
is
not easy. I say it's not always easy, and it's not about what you do, it's what you do with it. People don't know what to do with spiritualism. They don't understand. They say, oh, you come in. They want people think we need. If they hear the word medium, they see me sitting in a dark room with a crystal ball, a cat, incense, and a pentagram. And that's what people think mediums are. We are not elderly women dressed out as gypsies. No, we are just normal persons. And of course, the mediumship that people see the most on TV is mental mediumship through the mind. You have 4 forms of mediumship: mental, trance, physical, and healing mediumship. And everything is a part of healing. Every form of mediumship is healing because you heal people through what you're saying. It's helping to understand a higher vibration. And mental mediumship is what the most mediums do on television, what people do, give loved ones messages in the theater, through the mind. The spirit world comes sitting next to you, and you pick up the vibration, and you, like a parrot, you say what the spirits say, and the person in front of you have to believe you, yes or no. But that is mental, through the mind, the word says itself. That is the most common form of mediumship. And one of the most amazing ladies who did that in 5,000-6,000 people is Estelle Roberts, who lived in the 20th century. She passed away in 1971, and she worked with Red Cloud as well in the past. And she sat in the Royal Albert Hall in London with 3,000 people, and she gave messages of loved ones, and also went into trance. But mental mediumship is the foremost known, and that's what's going on. A lot of people see it as an easy form of entertainment, and it's not.
No. I must say, when I'm doing these interviews with different mediums, I learn so much of everyone, and I think that they have so much to teach. And I think
Thank you.
you have a lot of knowledge.
I do my best.
Yeah.
I do my best. I can't synthesize everything in 1 hour.
No,
It's like
yeah.
because trance mediumship it's as well as physical as well as healing. It has a meaning, it has a goal, and you need to work for it. It's not something you take it for granted.
No. What will you be doing in the future? What have you for plans, or have you anything you have looking forward to?
The plans of the future, I live day by day. I listen to my inner instinct. On the moment, with these restrictions in traveling, I hope soon to travel again and to teach and work. I work in Belgium on psychic fairs and have my own place and help people with grief counseling. And I'm traveling to America as soon as I can to help people there and set up circles and helping people how to sit for spirit and how to work, and maybe in the future small meetings with Red Cloud. I have a lot of work to do yet, but everything is held on hold right now. Also with spirit photography, doing something with my pictures, spirit appears to me, and they are on the pictures and red light. There's a lot going on, and also a hype in spirit photography. A lot of people have amazing results. And yes, of course, my own development move on. I am also sitting with one sitter to keep going in my own development, and that's also going on. So it never stops. It's I cannot force things to happen. It's in the lap of the gods.
And
Of course,
maybe you come to Sweden because you have been here before.
Yes, I have been in Stockholm in the beginning of the 90s. I've been in Finland. I've been in Lapland, in Ulluporo. I was normally going to Sweden in 2020 last year. With the COVID-19, everything stopped, of course. Normally I would have been to Norway and Sweden, but I will check out what we can do to help people set up circles, and to if people are interested, please let me know, and I'm there for you to help. It's just, there's nothing to hide. I mean, just be yourself. I'm there to help, but people need to understand it is a discipline thing. You don't have results in 2 weeks. It takes time.
Yes, that is true. You have to have patience.
Patience, dedication, harmony, and love. That's the 4 legs. Also respect for each other. There is no competition. If there is no competition, there is no worry. And if there's no worry, there is unity. And when there's unity, spirit comes in.
Now, if I talk just some words about myself, what helped me very, very much, that was really when I spoke with Jonathan. That has helped me a lot.
Yes, because Jonathan is an amazing guide from Aline, and it's a beautiful gentleman with a lot of knowledge and love. It is amazing that you can talk to spirit directly, and it is very powerful if it's done in the right circumstances. That's why I am a great believer in small groups, that people are one-to-ones. People have the opportunity to go deeper than sitting in front of a big group with 55 or 1,000 people. It is nice to work with a lot of people, but you always have a small quantity who never understand what the spirit has to say. And sometimes, yeah, they will understand when the time is right. But if you speak with a higher energy like Jonathan or the masters, it's always a joy to coming home. Because it's really coming home. It's just between the music. Between the music is the knowledge. That's what Mozart always say. The music is between the lines. People has to pick up the energy. People have to pick up the vibration. Guides can talk and talk and talk, but what do I really want to say is, do you remember you're a guide yourself? Do you remember you are a part of God? Do you remember you are power? And as long there are guides, as long you're not connected to your own higher self.
No.
If you connect with God, you don't need a guide.
No.
I mean, people are remembering themselves. Of course, guides will always be there to help, because people don't really understand. They don't trust themselves, and that's also a process of learning.
My husband always says nobody else can rule over me. He means that he is his own person. You understand?
Yes, but no, guides will never rule about somebody else. We always have a free will. The spirit world gives advice. It's up what you do with that advice. It's up to you. If you say, oh, thank you, wonderful chat, thank you very much, bye-bye, wonderful. If you take something out for yourself, wonderful. It is up to you. Nobody rules. And this is what people think, that what they did in the churches in the past, they want to rule from this is good, this is bad. If you be nice girl, you go to heaven. If you're a bad boy, you go to hell.
Yeah.
This is dogma and rulership. There is no hell in the spirit
No.
world.
I don't. I don't think he meant like that. I think he meant that he trusts him. He trusts himself.
Yes, of course. You always trust yourself. I am.
Yeah.
If you're doing the work what we're doing, you're coming in a point when you develop your mental mediumship and you go in a trance mediumship and you want to develop that part of your gift. And for me, it was a huge challenge because I was the Mrs. Control. I am a control freak from A to Z, honestly. And I never wanted to be a medium. But hey, I was angry with spirits. Say, hey, you guys, the medium go into trance, they sleep for 3 hours, people have an amazing time, and you don't know anything. So not for me. Oh my God, I was furious. And spirit said, no, Isabelle, you need to do this because it's good for you to lose control. It's good for your soul to take over and not rule. And I said, all right. And they kicked me out, and Red Cloud kicked me out in alpha state and going in a deeper state of consciousness. And before I knew I was out, and I came back and I said, it was not that difficult, was it? And I was completely in shock, and I was angry in the first place. I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I said, okay, it's already done, you did it. And oh, they know a way how to behave, and it helped me a lot. I became a better person. I'm not the same person as a few years ago, because the power. Don't underestimate the power of trance, because it's very powerful. And a lot of people saw me when I was much younger, and I'm a tank. I am very powerful, and people saw it as very, I don't like that person. She's bossy. She's very, and she's angry, and because I didn't know then how to tackle it. But if the same people see me now, say, is that the same person? You learn. Of course you learn. Everybody's learning. And I think what your husband means is like, nobody can rule over you. No guides will rule. Real guides don't rule. They give advice.
I think that's what he meant. I think that's what he meant.
Yes. Yes.
But he's not spiritual. He's not into this.
No, of course. That's why you are there. You want to help him.
Yeah.
And it's good. Yeah, it's good that in some relationship the husband doesn't understand the wife, or the other way around. It's a good counterweight to keep you earthly. I mean, you have to be somebody who say, hey, hang on, you're still on this planet. Because mediumship can be, for a lot of people, can be an escapade for a lot of stuff. And that's the problem. A lot of people fly into mediumship. They're addicted to messages. They're addicted to going to medium. They're addicted to going to psychic fair. Message. And this has to be very careful with this. What are you doing all these messages? I would say, if you have a private setting with a good medium, do it once a year. That's it. That's more than enough. Because why 5, 6, 7 times hearing from your grandmother? Your loved ones are fine. The reason why people go to medium has a higher meaning than only get the message from grandfather or your husband who's in the spirit world. It is much more than that, but people are easily pleased. And people lack knowledge. That's why people don't know how mediums work, and they think we have a telephone and we dial 563 521 for grandfather and 521357 for grandmother. It doesn't work like that. It's just like, what do we do? What is needed? And mediumship needs to go back where it came from, in very small gatherings, in peace, behind closed doors, just very powerful, like it used to be. and then we go back and into the world. I mean, it's too much change the last 5-6 years. The world has changed a lot, like I said before, and not for the best time. But it's never the meaning to convince people. We can share knowledge. We're not there to convince you. So I always say, let those who don't want to know, leave them in peace. They don't know. They're not ready. They're sleeping. Bless them and say thank you. Don't try to convince people, because it works against you.
Yes, they're not ready.
No, you can't push a river.
No.
What you want to, it's like finding a tree in the forest, seeing this magnificent tree, but if they close their eyes, they don't see the tree. People slowly die in themselves because they don't want to see knowledge. They're afraid of losing control. It's all about fear, because the media also use that fear, and use that fear against the spiritual realm. I mean, a lot of people who are in the field wanting to come out, multimedia thing, what Jonathan said, you have to go out and spread the word. He said it to me as well. And I do it slowly, but it's very important that people listen what they had to say. And say, why are these mediums coming out? Because they give a message. Of course, listen and take what you need and let go what you don't need. You will, if you follow your instinct, you will be led by the right persons.
Yes, that is true. Well, you know, Isabelle, the time is running out. I think we've been talking for an hour now, but a little more than an hour. But I always say one thing. Is there anything you would like to say more? A little thing.
Well, I wish all those who listen to this talk that they investigate themselves and see how powerful they are. To start believing in themselves, and to sit and meditate and go in nature and see the beauty of nature, and see that we are one connected. You are that tree, you are that garden, you are that blossom, you are one with nature. And if you understand the power of thunder with the lightning strikes, you see the power of the rain, you are that power. If you understand that, you are closer to spirit than you realize. Because nature is a part of us, and we have to go back, because death is a circle of life. And I wish that all people starting to understand that unity, that love is the only way out. Let go of the fear. We had the last 300 years, we have been in war and negativity and greed and all the shit what we've been through. It's enough. Let's heal the world. Begin with yourself, start with yourself, and don't worry about others. Take responsibility and sit and pray in your own words. You don't have to be religious, but just say thank you for letting this energy to me, that I can give an example to others. And I'd like to thank you, Ingrid, for your dedication to spirit, a dedication to bring people together in unity, to help people. And I hope that people can use my words of a little bit comfort for the coming weeks. And I have a website, isabelleduchene.com. So if people needs anything to know about me or have questions, I know I haven't tackled everything. There's much more to give, but I'm amazed it's already an hour ago.
Yeah.
So it's quickly. So yeah.
It's
so
been
much.
very It's been very interesting to listen to you. And I would like to thank you very much for answering and accepting this interview.
Oh,
And I
wonderful.
hope to hear from you again. But as I always do, I would like some few words with you when I stop the recording. Is that okay?
That's fine. Thank
So
you.
thank you very, very much for coming here today
That's
and,
wonderful.
and sharing your time.
Okay. Thank you so much and have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Let's see. I haven't got my glasses here. Oh, I put them on. So, Isabelle, now